So when Aberdeen launched the campaign, they really were starting from scratch. There had been a small campaign around their quincentenary, the 500 years celebration, and that really had got them started, but there wasn't really any infrastructure in place. But there was a huge amount of ambition, and there was a lot to be done in kind of reconnecting with alumni and with getting the kind of machine in operation. There was always difficulties in recruiting staff and getting good people. And I think at the beginning they didn't invest enough money in the campaign, which meant that it probably could have achieved more earlier. But internally there were a lot of politics around the investment in this area, and people were quite sceptical. But of course success is the best way to deal with that. And as the campaign became more successful, more resources were added in. And then the projects started to really define themselves, and huge capital projects were coming on board. £60 million new library, of which they raised over 20 million. And those were, I think even at that time, people thought they'll never raise that much money for a library. So all the way along, even though we were having success, people were still questioning whether things could be done. And so it was a really interesting time, and it did go through cycles, and it did have moments where it wasn't working as well as it could. But that's what's going to happen. You know, you're going to get a bit of success, and then things are maybe not going to go so well, and then you're going to lose some staff, and then you're going to, find that it's trickier, and then there's all the economic things. But at the end of the day, there was so much untapped potential, so many people still to reach that had never been contacted, and that was one of the most exciting things. That, throughout the difficulties economically, there was always, people that we were finding who had a connection with Aberdeen, and we would just relentlessly pursue them, and it was a lot of fun.